Republicans from committees. But look, what goes around comes around. I started making a list, and Ilhan and Eric are at the top. Maxine Waters, Cori Bush, and a couple other Democrats like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are on there too. So if you have any names that you'd like to add, Jess.
Adam Kinzinger, Cori Bush, Ilhan Omar, Maxine Waters. So she's going after all the women of color, all the progressive women of color, right? Is there anybody else that she said? She's drawn a list. Did you hear what Lauren Boebert of the 3rd Congressional District in Colorado just said? She's got a list. She's already got a hit enemies list, right? She's got a Nixon enemies hit list. And she's, proudly proclaiming it. Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, Maxine Waters.
Medical mandates that are taking place. Democrats have now removed 4 Republicans from committees. But look, what goes around comes around. I started making a list, and Ilhan and Eric are at the top. Maxine Waters, Cori Bush, and a couple other Democrats like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are on there too. So if you have any names that you
Liz
like to add,
Cheney?
Well, let me ask you before we go, because it's a certainty that you're going to retake the House and you're going to be in charge of the committees.
It's a certainty.
You guys can run the show. Are you going to be targeting Ilhan Omar over any of her history, any of her recent history? What sorts of things could you do?
So that is exactly what we are going to do. When we have the majority, it is going to be all about accountability and investigations. I will be on the Oversight Committee, and I am submitting subpoenas for the people who are in this administration and making them answer to their failures. And I am absolutely calling out the members of Congress who serve in the House and do the things that they do. I'm absolutely going to hold them accountable. And what goes around, like I said, will come around.
All right.
So what goes around will come around. So, not a position of strength, right? But she's saying it very confident. She likes the limelight. Lauren Boebert is a tour de force. Love her or hate her, she's a tour de force. So if you're a Democrat, you got to uphill battle. You got to, we got to vote, we got to pick Sol Sandoval right now, right? Sol Sandoval, or is it that Cole? You had that Cole Berger. Cole Berger just jumped in too. And then you also got Donald Valdez, and it's Colin Berger. You actually have a whole bunch of candidates. So this point is actually probably the most important point when it comes to, she's her tactic is to go after Ilhan Omar. So that's what she's going to do. She's going to go after the squad, say it's, it's too far left wing, too progressive. And that might work in blue state Colorado, but for America, it's definitely not the case. And it's also horse shit because she's not going to talk about Colorado issues. She's just going to go after the women of color, right? She's going to go after the women of color, the progressive women of color. And Ilhan Omar, talk about the most, vulnerable congresswoman in, that's sitting today. Ilhan Omar, this is gross. This is disgusting. I don't know who the hell's advising her. And, as a Coloradan, I want to have an honest conversation about the issues, about education, about the economy, about, crime and punishment and police brutality and poverty and homelessness and imperialism and, a whole bunch of things, medical family leave, UBI, universal health care. So we got Colin Berger, Debbie Burnett, Nazaha Hadil, Susan Martinez, Kelly Rhodes, Sol Sandoval, Donald Valdez, and Colin Wilhelm. So that was a slam. You have Jesse Waters that's saying basically Democrats of Colorado, you ain't shit. You ain't fucking shit. You're going to lose your goddamn seat. You've always been losing. The 3rd Congressional District's been fucking Republican for a long ass time. And now you got this tour de force fucking, she's a polarizing asshole. I'm sitting there looking at these candidates and I'm thinking even Donald Valdez would be better. Anybody would be better than goddamn Lauren Boebert, but Donald Valdez is infinitely better. He wears a cowboy hat and he's a moderate. So, I wouldn't expect many waves to be made with him. I think that I'm not sure how progressive he is. He did go with the police reform and some other shit. So I just think that we haven't really, got to meet Donald Valdez and his progressive platforms, right? What are going to be, what are these progressive ideas he's going to run on? But Sol Sandoval, I like Sol Sandoval because she is, Coloradan. She is Puebloan. This is, what Colorado looks like. Sol Sandoval. That's what Colorado looks like. And all these other, hacks, I'm not for sure, all of them, but, all 8 of these candidates, you have to, up your game. I would like to hear some Lincoln Douglas debates, Sol Sandoval, Donald Valdez, just go around, the district and have, a debate, but just a conversation. That's all a debate is, conversation amongst friends and shit. That would be an important conversation that that the state of Colorado, especially the 3rd district, would need to hear. We're a poor district. There's no reason. Colorado's blue, but the fucking 3rd district is not red as fuck, but if you look at the, last 10 years or whatever, it's been maintaining red. But it's, I definitely think it could be flipped. Of course, it's a blue fucking state. This is like the, goddamn last Mohican or some shit. So, Sol Sandoval, Colin Berger, Debbie Burnett, you heard what Jesse Waters just said. Jesse Waters just said, Lauren Boebert's going to fucking take this election. She's going to take it. She's got the money. She's got the backing, right? She's got a lot of, check marks in the whatever, pro column. And so she's, looking very strong. And they said that she's going to win. So, she's going to run after Ilhan Omar and the Progressive Squad. And I think that what you should do is, just kind of, you just acknowledge that there's pros and cons with anything and everything. Acknowledge that you like some things about the Progressive Squad, other things you don't like, right? They're ineffective. How about that? They're like Jimmy Carter. They're not actually getting any of their progressive policies passed. People are trying to demonize them and, scapegoat them. But I think in the long run, they're going to be looked at as prophets. We only had a couple fucking progressives. We only had a couple real progressives in Congress. And Cori Bush, Ilhan Omar, AOC, Katie Porter, and some other ones. Jamal Bowman, there's a handful. There's about a dozen progressives. And you're going to sit there and say, what we need is a bold progressive agenda. You know why this country is slipping? Because we have, homelessness and poverty and imperialism. And it's, it is getting sort of bloated and fatter. And we're not addressing the issues of the people. The people are not, the issues of the people are not being addressed. So Sol Sandoval, when she talks working class issues, when she talks universal health care, when she talks, minimum wage, union organizing, when Sol Sandoval talks about the Employee Free Choice Act, whatever Sol Sandoval, is running on, when she starts to talk about working class issues, that's when I'll listen, the rest of, Colorado will listen, and that's when she'll win. So to all the candidates, Colin Berger, Sol Sandoval, Donald Valdez, Colin Wilhelm, Susan Martinez, Kelly Rhodes, Nazaha, whoever that is, Debbie Burnett, you got to up your game. You got to up your game. You got to up your game by 127%, because that's possible. Of course, that's possible. So there you go. That's fucking Boebert throwing goddamn dirt in the Democrats of Colorado's 3rd Congressional District's eyes, shitting on the Democrats, and also shitting on Ilhan Omar. Jesus fucking Christ. Ilhan Omar is like the only... Let's elect Ilhan Omar for president. Who's with me? I would love it. I think Ilhan Omar would make a great president of America.